Hey guys, in this episode of Mastering Martial Arts I want to talk about my pre-competition rituals, how I deal with nerves, all of that kind of stuff. So although I'm talking about competition, this is going to apply to any event. I've used it in speaking engagements, I've used it before classes, before seminars. I do all of these kind of things. And it really, for me, it comes down to familiarizing yourself with what you're doing. Okay, it's making yourself comfortable in whatever environment you're going to be in. So, the way that I do this is a couple of specific things. Let's start with nutrition. Okay, so if I'm going to go to an event, I really don't change my diet that much. I eat what I always eat. I drink what I always drink. I don't change too much. Okay, and now what this does is my body performs perfectly well on that. It performs to a great level. I eat pretty clean, eat pretty healthy most of the time. So I don't need to change that. There's no point card loading. I don't know how my body's going to react to that. I mean, yes, I could test it out and see if it's going to help, but I perform to a high level without doing it anyway. Okay, so, and really we're not, in jiu-jitsu terms, you're not really competing long enough for it to make a massive difference. So that's the first thing. Whenever I wake up in the morning, I eat what I tend to eat every morning. I drink what I tend to drink. I make sure I'm well hydrated. I may cut down a little bit on the caffeine because I don't want to feel agitated. But really that's it. It's the only things I'll do. The next thing I think about is my warm-up. Okay, how I warm up for a fight. I want to be comfortable with that. I want to know exactly what I'm going to do. So again, my body learns that now is the time that we're going to compete. Now is the time we're going to perform. Okay, so I use the same warm-up when I go to the gym, when I train in classes. I use pretty much identical things all the time, and it's just teaching my body that now is the the time that I need to give my most. Okay, and again, it's just adding that level of comfort to what I'm doing. Okay, now the another thing that I like to do is I use a little bit of visualization. Okay, now I visualize a couple of different things. The first, I kind of visualize what's going to happen during the day. Okay, so everything from when I wake up to stepping on the mat, to having my hand raised as the winner. Okay, and the way I do this is very simple. I just I lay down, find somewhere quiet. Often a couple of days before I do it every evening. I lay down. I just relax, and then I just think about what's going to happen. I try and think about what the venue's going to look like, my competitors, what it'll be like to be warming up, what it'll be like when I step on the mat, every single stage. And I just keep running that forwards and backwards in my head until I get very comfortable with it. So that's kind of the first stage. And then what I do is whenever I get to the venue, I then familiarize myself with that. I go through exactly the same routine. Okay, so I'm mostly the way that I do this is I turn up to the venue and I do a circuit of the whole thing, so I get comfortable with the environment. So when I'm visualizing, I do the same thing. I turn up to the event, I walk around, and it just develops that level of comfort. I mean, yes, I'm going to get nervous. That's perfectly natural. Everybody's nervous before they fight, but I'm just trying to develop that comfort level and get used to that. Okay, so if I do get nervous, I use very, very simple breathing tactic that's worked for me so well, and I learnt it. There's a book by a guy called Dave Grossman, which is it's called On Combat, and it's all about the effects of adrenaline in military arenas. Okay, and what he does is something called combat breathing, and it's really simple. All you do is you breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and you do that a few times through, and you'll notice your heart rate starts to drop. Okay, and it works so well. And the other thing I don't do anymore, I used to do this all the time, I tried not to be nervous. I tried to push those feelings aside. But what I found is a lot better way to do it is I just accept them. I know that I'm going to be nervous. I know everybody's nervous. I know this feeling is going to be there. And by just accepting them and kind of embracing them a little bit, what it does is they just dissipate. They don't come back any stronger. Before, when I used to try and push them aside, when I tried to push them away, tried to ignore them, they would always come back harder. It's like the waves are getting stronger and stronger. Now this way, my body accepts it. It's like, okay, yes, I'm nervous. Let's move on to the next thing, And I look at that nervous energy as just that. It's energy. It's preparing me to fight. Okay, so that's 2 quick tips on that. So, but really all this comes down to whenever you're going to compete, you want to train like you're going to compete. Okay, so in the class, you train like you want to do. If you want to be a fast player, then you try to move quickly. If you want to be a tight player, then you try and move tight. You keep everything exactly the same, so you're always getting that comfort in your environment. Okay, and that's really the key for any event that you're doing, whatever it is. Build that comfort level so you feel like you've done it 100 times before. That's how you get confidence. Okay, and that's a really, really important thing. Okay, guys. So that's my core tips on preparing for a competition. You know, obviously sleep's in there as well. Get some good sleep. You know, don't really change your diet. Just eat healthily all of the time. Visualize what's going to happen with you, and train like you want to compete. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks a lot, guys.